Golden State Warriors have had one of the most interesting off seasons to date, and I must admit this isn't really how I expected their off season to go. But thankfully, a familiar face is also going to be rejoining the Golden State Warriors roster. So before we get to the content, just a reminder, I'm giving away 5 copies of NBA 2K22 on any console. All you have to do is follow me on Instagram and or Twitter. And now that we got all that out of the way, cue the intro. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I apologize to New York Knicks fans. I saw the comments saying that you wanted me to make a video on the Kemba Walker edition. I was fairly sick that day, but if you guys still want it, just let me know in the comment section down below. And if it becomes a top comment, then I'll get to work on it right away. And of course, make sure you leave a like on this video and let's get this party started. So the Golden State Warriors were expected to be trading for a variety of different superstar players to add to their core of Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson, who is returning from multiple injuries that, in my opinion, are typically expected to be career-ending injuries or at least sap a player of all of his athleticism. And while we don't really know how many minutes per game Klay Thompson will be able to play once he returns, the expectation was, since the Golden State Warriors had James Wiseman, 2 lottery first-round picks that eventually turned into Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody, the expectation was, since they had all this capital in addition to a pretty solid budding 3-and-D type star in Andrew Wiggins that could match the salary of any star player in the league this year, the expectation was to eventually be able to trade for such a star. And at first, I really thought that that star was going to be Bradley Beal. Especially if Russell Westbrook got traded, I thought that there was no way, shape, or form that Bradley Beal would stay on the Washington Wizards. But once again, I was wrong. In an era where I think NBA stars are so freaking unpredictable, Bradley Beal is content to ride out the final season in his contract, and he can opt into a player option at the conclusion of this year, or he could obviously leave at the end of next year, and is content with playing with the likes of Denny Avdia, Daniel Gafford, and the newly acquired Spencer Dinwiddie, which means the only star player really that the Golden State Warriors can get is either Ben Simmons via a trade, assuming that Daryl Morey doesn't ask for another 4 first-round picks, including 2 lottery picks, in addition to James Wiseman and Andrew Wiggins, or maybe, just maybe, if Kawhi Leonard wants to completely shaft the Clippers, then there's a chance that they could pull off a sign-and trade with the Los Angeles Clippers that sends Andrew Wiggins to the Clippers and Kawhi Leonard to the Golden State Warriors, which in my opinion is also a long shot, but hey, crazier stuff has happened in the NBA before. But what's appearing to be more and more likely, just based off of how things have been trending this offseason, is the Golden State Warriors are going to keep the team as is, unless if a great opportunity presents itself. And well, it looks like they're going to be adding a former NBA Finals MVP and a vital part of those Golden State Warriors championship teams in Andre Iguodala. So prior to this point, Andre Iguodala was rumored to be choosing between the Golden State Warriors, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Brooklyn Nets in regards to who he was planning to sign with. And honestly, a part of me was thinking that he was probably going to go to the Golden State Warriors anytime that you're at the tail end of your career and the same exact team that prolonged your career and has allowed you to win multiple championships is available. Chances are you're going to go back to that team, especially because once you join a new team, finding your role on that new team might be a little bit more difficult. As we saw with Andre Iguodala on the Miami Heat had very high hopes for Iguodala, but he kind of struggled in finding his role there. And while looking at his basic statistics don't really do much justice in regards to Andre Iguodala, when evaluating Andre Iguodala, what you really want to do is at least look at his advanced analytics just to see how well he's performing defensively. And honestly, even though he's at the age of 37, going on his age 38 season, season, he is still a very productive defensive player. As a matter of fact, looking at his DBPM last year with the Miami Heat, his defensive box plus minus was a 1.8, which is even better than the 2014 to 2015 season with the Golden State Warriors and the 2015 to 2016 season with the Warriors. As a matter of fact, it's better than each and every season he had with the Golden State Warriors except the 2013 to 2014 season. So of course, officially, Andre Iguodala, according to Shams Charania, a three-time Golden State Warriors champion and 2015 NBA Finals MVP, agreed to sign a deal to return to Golden State. The Brooklyn Nets were also a finalist, and Shams also confirms that he is going to be returning to the Golden State Warriors on a minimum deal. I think this is fantastic for two reasons. One, I don't expect Iguodala to be playing those incredibly heavy minutes that he once played for the Golden State Warriors. I'm expecting him to be maybe a 20 minutes per game type of player. And honestly, I think he's there for one, reuniting with Steph, Draymond, Clay, and getting an opportunity to mentor players like Andrew Wiggins and Jonathan Kuminga, who really has the tools to become like the next coming of Andre Iguodala for the Golden State Warriors, assuming that he doesn't get traded in any blockbuster like trade, is a fantastic situation for both Andre Iguodala and for the Golden State Warriors, and especially on a minimum deal, then it's kind of a no-brainer. In regards to his ability to potentially win a championship again, I don't really think that's necessarily on the forefront of his mind. I just think he wants to ride off into the sunset with the team that he probably had the most fun with in his entire career, and that's the Golden State Warriors. And that's not to say that the Golden State Warriors can't necessarily compete for an NBA championship this year, because I think a large part of that is 100% dependent upon Klay Thompson and how healthy he is and how good he is once he returns. Bear in mind, this is a guy that hasn't stepped onto a basketball court since the 2019 NBA Finals. A lot has happened since then. But in addition to that, it also depends on a plethora of different factors. How long does it take for Moses Moody to develop with the Golden State Warriors? Can he step in and contribute right away? How much better did James Wiseman get this season? Is he significantly better than his rookie season when he was just 19 years old and seemed to have some upside but was very raw? Regardless, the Golden State Warriors can employ a starting five of Draymond Green, Andrew Wiggins, Andre Iguodala, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry, and I think that is good enough to potentially make some noise in the Western Conference, if not even potentially push for a NBA championship. And I know on paper that's not as devastating as my Los Angeles Lakers, but you got to give this team respect because they were a dynasty for a reason. So let me know in the comment section down below, Golden State Warriors fans, how do you feel about this addition? I personally think it's a home run. You can't knock this deal at all. It's a veteran minimum for a guy that fits into the locker room really, really well and just gives a boost to team chemistry at the very worst. I'd like to hear what you guys have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.